A royal decree issued by the Portuguese crown during the mid-18th century offered to each white man who married an Indian woman an axe, a pair of scissors, cloth, clothing, 2 cows, and 2 sacks of seed. By decree, the indigenous territory had to be populated by European blood, and this is the result, a human melting pot that feeds on the jungle. Apart from crayfish, there is cocoa, churu, carambolas, açaís, mucayás, urucus, fruits from the tropical forest unknown to the rest of the world. And ancient ointments, like dolphin, turtle, or lizard oil, to calm wild men down. Although it is also used in beverages to wake them up. Yes, you heard right, tropical Viagra. We find what we are looking for in this fish market. A fish, of course, but an oceanic fish, in spite of being hundreds of kilometers away from the Atlantic Ocean. Sharks like this one occasionally confuse the Amazon River with the sea and are caught. We are still on the frontier. The presence of sharks in the Amazon River is being studied by the INPA in Manaus, and that's where we're headed. This may be the only place on Earth where this phenomenon produced outside of the biological laws can be studied.
This is a shark specimen that was captured 50 kilometers from here. That is 1,500 kilometers away from the mouth of the Amazon River into the sea. This is a sea shark, but nonetheless it was found here in a freshwater system. This species belongs to the keratinide family of the Keratinus leucos species, originally known as the white shark, and is considered to be extremely voracious and dangerous to man. The entrance of this species into this region is sporadic, accidental, but those that arrive here adapt themselves perfectly well to the freshwater system.
A stroke of luck has us witness a recent capture. In Manaus, a member of the white shark family has just been captured, the sawfish. This is a scientific event of great importance that has just occurred and will continue occurring in these waters, as the doctor reminds us.
In Tefé, 2 fertile females have been discovered in the Iquitos region, which is over 3,000 kilometers away from the mouth of the Amazon. This species is a famous predator, and we are sure that they enter this region accidentally in the Solimões Amazon system. They enter pursuing large shoals of fish, continuing the chase upriver until they reach lakes and rivers of South America, which enables them to enter other water systems as far as Mexico.
The year 2000 bid farewell with important data. A scientific expedition finally situated the birth of the Amazon River precisely on the Andine map. On the snowy Nevado de Mismi, 5,300 meters high in the heart of the Peruvian Andes, a small spring of icy water sprouts at the foot of an ancient volcano, a spring that will grow during almost 7,000 kilometers until it reaches unmanageable dimensions, an artery that divides South America in two, about which we still know practically nothing. How is it possible for a river to have sea tides? Everything is possible here. The water level of the Amazon in its final stretch goes down to 200 meters. Children and dogs know this and play with the thriving waters, as did their heroic elders before them. The Syzygia tide is the hydric movement that takes place 3 days before or after a full or new moon. Apart from the floods that come from the intense rainfalls, the earth and the moon unite to cuddle the Amazon River. The estuary fishermen take advantage of the river's biorhythms to do their work. They do it punctually, with a fishing system as traditional as it is harmless. River culture, because these inhabitants are very familiar with these virgin beaches with no coconut trees and no crowds. This trap is called a corral and is no more than a labyrinth of sticks and nets that let all the river creatures pass through while the tide is high, later turning into an impregnable wall when the tide goes down. The fishermen just have to repair it periodically and take care not to step on the sometimes poisonous stingrays that camouflage themselves inside the schools of fish. If things are done well, there will always be a reward. The piramautabas, tambaquis, or tucunares will fill the nets with delicious protein. Later, the river moves again, like a living being, like a mother worried about her children's future. Before receiving the name it bears now, this water giant was baptized by the different cultures that enjoyed its presence outside of Brazilian territory, with names such as Apurimac or Ucayali. Even in Brazil, before bathing Manaus, the Amazon River is known as the Solimões River. Here, on the verge of giving itself to the ocean, it is just the river, the great river of the world. The latest estimates registered by satellite have it as the longest river on the planet, with a length of 6,885 kilometers. That is, 214 kilometers longer than the Nile. The joining of the sweet and traveled waters of the Amazon with the Atlantic Ocean is a geographic trauma. The salt water wants to go inland, and at the same time, a ship sailing 200 kilometers from the coast will find remains of vegetation, tree trunks, and fresh water in the middle of the ocean, a titanic struggle. This is the result of that struggle. An enormous wave 4 meters high that penetrates from the sea inland at 20 kilometers an hour. The pororoca, or porok in the Tupi language, rarely filmed, that occurs particularly during the month of April, sowing the peaceful lives of the inhabitants of the mouth of the Amazon River with uncertainty. The adventurous and playful spirit of the Brazilian people dominates this phenomenon since 1998, establishing in the state of Pará a peculiar surf championship on the back of pororoca. Less risky surfing can be enjoyed in Rio de Janeiro. Copacabana is a busy beach where remains of the prehistoric Amazonian culture can be found. although you may find it hard to believe. Ours is a purely anthropological interest, we'll have you know. We observe certain details. We are far away from the Amazon River, but the native women of Rio de Janeiro, unknowingly, wear a few of the characteristic traditional garments. Let's abandon Rio and return to the river. You'll soon see why. A Brazilian beauty, a beautiful woman. Beauty here in this beach that is at the mouth of the Amazon River has been strutting itself for many years, hundreds of years, among other things, with this garment, the tanga. She's wearing it, and don't think it's a modern-day garment. On the island of Marajó, archaeologists have discovered the Marajoara tanga. I have here an exact replica, perfect, just like the ones that women wore around here hundreds of years ago. It's a clay and plant fiber reproduction, which proves that tradition, culture, and dress strolled around here in the Amazon River at the beginning of time.